Yet another trailer for Transformers The Last Night has dropped. And I'm going to break this thing down for you guys, let you know what I found, what I thought, maybe some theories in there. And a couple more TV spots dropped, so I'm going to break those down as well. There is that potential for spoilers. This is still all conjecture on my part, so let's get started. The trailer starts out with the same shot of that sword that we've seen before, but then we get these Viking-looking guys. I don't know if these are the good guys or the bad guys of this fight scene. I'm assuming the bad guys because they just look a little bit more mean. But when I was watching this trailer, I thought my volume was not working. I kept turning it up and turning it up. I'm like, where the heck is the sound? Because we really haven't had a Transformers trailer without much sound. To my knowledge, we haven't. So this was something new. We get all these shots of this medieval battle, and I'm excited for this, but I feel like they're showing us too much. But I'm still excited to see Michael Bay's take on this type of battle scene, and I think it's going to be good. Unfortunately, I think there's going to be too many explosions, but eventually there are going to be Transformers within this fight scene, so explosions might make sense. Here we see London. And then we go to the North Pole or something. Iceland? Greenland? Now this shot is very interesting to me because it's a coin or medallion of a three-headed dragon, which we know as Dragonstorm. And Vivian Wembley, Laura Haddock's character, is holding it. And the only thing that I have to say really about it is it's a little too just perfect looking. Yes, it needs to be pretty detailed for the movie, but for the time that it would have probably been made within the context of the story, it would not have that much detail within the design of the coin. But still really well done. This shot of this green Transformer, what looks like he's dying, and he's holding the medallion of like the Knights of the Round Table, the no sacrifice, no victory type of medallion. I have no idea who this character is. It's not Hound, because he has close to the same color, but that's not Hound. It's also hard to tell when or where he is. So yeah. Then we get this beautiful shot of this guy riding the horse through the trees, Mark Wahlberg under the water. But then we get this shot of this chest plate or breastplate, whatever you want to call it. I'm assuming it's on King Arthur or one of the knights. But it's the no sacrifice, no victory, but it's not obviously in English. Now I find it interesting that they chose to put this shot in the trailer. It gives you nothing. It might tell you that, hey, we're still in Texas, but not the east side of Texas. We're in like the west side of Texas. Who knows? I just find it interesting that they put this shot in the trailer. It doesn't belong. But a couple shots later, we get this shot of what I assume is Mark Wahlberg's arm, and he's got metal on his arm. And what I want to know is this armor, is it like shrapnel that is like embedded in his arm, or is he like turning into some kind of transformer or something? I just want to know what the heck is going on in this. And obviously, we will get to know when we see the movie. Hopefully, we should. But it's Vivian Wembley, touching his arm. It's just weird. Then we see a reverse shot of a shot that we've seen before of Bumblebee. Yes, it's Bumblebee driving into that Nazi stronghold, and there's another shot of it coming up in a couple seconds. So it's pretty awesome. So this is pretty interesting to me. They show this Nazi stronghold building, but then they show Cogman. And I've had a theory that Cogman is a bad guy for quite a while, as far as I remember. Because they show the Nazis, and then they show Cogman. I still think that Cogman is going to betray them somehow. And that would be an interesting take. And that's why I think they made Cogman human-sized, maybe even a little smaller. That way Mark Wahlberg gets to fight somebody stronger than him. So he has to really overpower or get overpowered to defeat him. And with Excalibur, he'll be able to do it. So that's my theory on Cogman. And here we get one of my favorite shots of the trailer. We get trailer confirmation that it is Bumblebee. The last trailer that we saw of this character, Bumblebee, obviously, firing around. We didn't really get to see his face. And then obviously we got that poster, but now we get further confirmation that it is Bumblebee. And even Hot Rod is there helping to kill the Nazis. So I think it's cool. I'm excited for this scene, but I don't think they're going to spend too much time on it. And another thing that I have to point out is it ruins some continuity. And I know that you're like, well, it really doesn't because Bumblebee was here all along. Yeah, well, so was Hot Rod. Where was Hot Rod in Transformers 1, 2, 3, and 4? Why wasn't he helping? Clearly he was on Earth. I don't think they're going to explain it. They're just going to throw him in and then just be like, hey, you know, Bumblebee and Hot Rod fought together. And that's all they're going to say. There's not going to be anything brought up like, well, why weren't you helping in the last 4 attacks that we had? Well, I mean, there were more than that. But the last 4 movies, why weren't you helping in those? And again, we get the TIE bombers. Why did they design them like this? They really do look like TIE bombers. I mean, from the silhouette perspective, they may look completely different. And we did see a little bit of it in the final trailer that we thought was the final trailer. There is just so much going on in this shot. First, I had to say, Bumblebee and Hot Rod running on the ground. I think they replaced some of the soldiers that were in a previous trailer. I noticed that they looked a little fake before, but now they're replaced with Bumblebee and Hot Rod, and it looks cool. And I just wonder if they're trying to run to Lockdown's ship or reinforce other troops or what. I don't know what's going on. If they're running to go get those Cybertronian jet things, could be any one of those things or something else entirely. But I just find it interesting, and I think it's going to be cool. Oh man, they keep showing us more scenes of this Optimus versus Bumblebee fight scene. And while I love seeing this stuff, I want them to stop showing us new stuff because I just want to be surprised in the theater. And yes, I could just willingly stop watching these trailers, but who can really stop watching these trailers? They're awesome trailers for what's probably going to be a dumb movie, but hey, we're still all going to go see it, and I'm still probably going to like it a lot. But yeah, this shot of Bumblebee just grabbing Optimus' head and throwing it on the ground, just awesome. So this shot is actually very interesting because it looks like at first Bumblebee is being held back from a fight, but at the end of the shot, the knight or whoever is holding Bumblebee back doesn't actually look like he's holding him back. But that's what I take away from it, is that Bumblebee is being held back from this fight, and Mark Wahlberg is saying no, and he's got Excalibur and he's about to hit someone. Who? I don't know. It could be Optimus, could be Cogman, could be someone else entirely. Could be Hot Rod for betraying them all. Who knows? Michael Bay knows, and the editor knows, and a lot of people who worked in the movie knows. But I don't. So that's the trailer. I'm going to move on to the TV spots in a minute here, but I do have to say that I did not really like the feeling of that trailer. It was trying to be too subtly epic. It was quiet until you see the director, Michael Bay. It's like, all right, let's get into this. And it felt like just a mess of just shots just thrown in there. It was like a demo reel. And not even like a well-done demo reel. Yes, the shots are amazing, but the editing of the shots and how they take place within the context of the whole video did not work well for me. You know, we skip from medieval to present day, and then we go back to medieval. But after a few dozen shots that show just non-connected shots, and I know trailers can't connect everything because otherwise they'd give away the entire movie, but I mean, this just jumps around all over the place. Anyway, I still liked all the new shots that we got. They look incredible. I'm excited for this movie. But we got some TV spots to get into, and let's get into them. So the first TV spot I want to get into is titled Pyramid. Now, my title might be different from the title that you get, but the first part I want to talk about is when Optimus says, "I fight for my own kind now." And Mark Wahlberg says, "We fought together," and this shot of Optimus just punching the ground, really upset at Mark Wahlberg, Cade Yeager. It's going to be pretty interesting, and I'm pretty sure that's going to take place at the part where he says, Earth must die. However, he is talking to Vivian Wembley at that part and not Mark Wahlberg, so maybe it's not the same scene. And then we get this enhanced shot of the Bumblebee Barricade fight scene where Bumblebee like half transforms and shoots Barricade, and you actually see Barricade kind of transforming after being hit by that shot. That's pretty cool. I'm still really excited for that fight scene or that chase scene, whatever it's going to be. It's going to be like a mix. I think it's going to be pretty good. I hope that they don't put in too much human character interaction, because I know we've seen Mark Wahlberg say, "You better have some moves today," and then, "Are you out of your mind?" and all these like just one-liners, just spouting them out because Michael Bay just wants something to cut to so he doesn't have to make the shots on the outside of the cars connect directly, so he can kind of put in other things in there so he can travel around the entire city. I don't know. And then the rest of that TV spot is pretty much the same stuff that we've already seen. Now moving on to the next one, it's called Alien Dinosaur. For my title, I don't know if that's the title for it, but the first shot I want to talk about is when the baby Dinobots are in the trailer. You see little baby Grimlock trying to blow fires on curtains, and the baby Triceratops, Slug, Snarl, I don't know what their names are. If you guys know what their names are, let me know in the comment section below. I don't really claim to be a Transformers fanatic or super huge fan. I am a fan of the movies, but I don't know everything about Transformers. Anyway, you see the baby Dinobots, which baby Dinobots, it looks too similar to Revenge of the Fallen with the kitchen Decepticons, and that scene was, that was just bad. The entire part of that movie was bad. Should have been cut out almost entirely, maybe a little bit of it. They didn't need all of that. Not at all. Anyway, Mark Wahlberg picks up little baby Grimlock and he says, "First flames, dude," and it's cute, but come on. We don't need cute in these movies. These movies have never really been about being cute. They've been about being cool. Let's just keep that going. Let's just stay there. Now this will be the typical Mark Wahlberg stuff that we saw in the first one, where he's like, "I'm an inventor, I need this technology," and he's gonna be like, "Dude, you're coming into your own power. Look, whatever your name is, kid, I'm an inventor. I need to study these creatures." It's probably gonna play out like that, and it's very unfortunate. The next TV spot is called Quintessa, but again, this might be a different title. But shots that I want to talk about start with the one where she just throws like this energy ball at Optimus, and he's chained up still, and he just kind of falls down to his knees. I just find it interesting that her power is she has to throw it. She doesn't shoot it. She just throws it like a baseball. It's cool, but if she's that powerful, she shouldn't have to just throw it. She just blink, and then it goes like a projectile. It doesn't need to be a ball. So again, something to take note of is Optimus Prime's eyes are blue. He's resisting mind control, or she hasn't even started yet, but she just winds up and slaps him across the face. And while I know that Quintessa is supposed to be like the super powerful being, but her hand is like maybe an eighth of the size of his face. So I don't know if that would really make him like just react that way, you know? I don't know. Now this part of the scene is very interesting because you can see Earth in the background. So basically that means that Optimus Prime doesn't go back to Earth until this planet thing gets to Earth or just beyond the moon or something, and he's sent down. So unfortunately, I think we're gonna have another movie like the first Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, where half the movie we don't have Optimus Prime in it. And that's very unfortunate because Peter Cullen's voice is amazing, and that's what I really loved about Transformers Age of Extinction, is Optimus has a lot of lines. Optimus is like the main Transformer character, and I loved that about that movie. And I think, yes, he's a main character in this one, but I think Bumblebee is going to take on the main character as the main hero character, because Optimus Prime is obviously being mind controlled, so he's not going to be like the main hero character. At the end, yes, of course, he's probably going to be a hero, and probably die. Now this shot at the very end of this TV spot is just an incredible shot. Yes, we've seen it in a previous TV spot, which I think I'm actually talking about next. But this shot of Optimus Prime just like getting ready, pointing his sword. I have a feeling this is with the fight scene against Infernicus or the Infernicons, because it looks like he's on the ground. But my goodness, this shot, it's really good. And it's a refreshing shot because we don't really get these kind of shots in the Transformers movies. They're always just, they're not as cool. The next TV spot is Bumblebee's voice, which really I think the best part is that first part when they're fixing Bumblebee's voice, and we all pretty much saw that coming. We saw him being worked on and we're like, okay, they're fixing his voice. And it turns out to be the wrong voice. They pretty much put Siri's voice inside of Bumblebee. And I hope that they keep addressing it instead of just give up after that. But you know, we'll have to wait and see. So Optimus Prime says this is the end, Earth must die. And again, we get this amazing shot, which I talked about just a minute ago, of Optimus pointing his sword. And again, we don't really get these shots in these movies, and I love this shot. It's a really great looking shot, and I hope we get more of it, or more like it, in the movie. So that's pretty much all the TV spots and trailers that I have to talk about. But I do have one final theory, and that has to do with the beginning of the film. I have this feeling that we're going to get a completely different way of storytelling, at least at the beginning, for this movie. And I kind of hope that they go this route, where we start it with Optimus Prime, and we don't see anything on Earth yet. No narration, and it's just Optimus Prime floating in space. Maybe he's run out of energon, or maybe it's him getting to a planet and he has to fight something and he loses and he's floating off in space. Anyway, we're going to start, I hope that we start with Optimus and Quintessa, and he's basically fighting off the mind control. And eventually, you know, you see his eyes turn purple, all that stuff. And at that point, the camera's going to go into his eye, and kind of how we did with Sentinel Prime in Dark of the Moon. And that's when the logo, or the title, is going to show up. That's just my theory. Basically because they've been showing us that over and over and over again. Why would they show us pretty much all of that scene by now if it's not going to be pretty early on in the movie? Yes, they'd have to show us something, because if they didn't, most of the movie they wouldn't be able to show us. So, yeah. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Karen and I did see Wonder Woman last night, so we're going to go review that either tonight or tomorrow night. And I'm going to be also continuing my series on Transformers reviews with Dark of the Moon next. And then again, Age of Extinction and top 10 things I want to see in the last night. So be on the lookout for those videos, guys. I'm excited again to be making them. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of when we upload new content. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.